And we need to come out of closed session, so I need a motion, please.
Madam Chair, I make a motion to come out of closed session.
A second?
Madam Chair, I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Stacy, will you do a roll call vote, please?
Yes, ma'am. A roll call vote is being called to certify that to the best of each member's knowledge, only public business matters lawfully exempt from open meeting requirements under the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, and only such public business matters as were identified in the motion convening the closed session were heard, discussed, or considered during the closed session. Vicky Hart, District 1.
Yes.
Susan Smith, District 2.
Yes.
Jeannie Wade, District 3.
Yes.
James Taylor, District 4.
Yes.
Michelle Ward, District 5.
Yes.
All right. In honor of Veterans Day, the Powhatan County Public School JROTC, which is the Junior Reserve Officers Training Corps, will present the colors. They are led by retired Sergeant Major Don Blakely, and I would ask that you remain standing for the invocation. Thank you. Good job. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, let's pray. Heavenly Father, in this season of Thanksgiving, we are grateful for the nation which we live, which has been demonstrated here with these fine young people who have brought the colors in for us. Father, we thank you for this land, what it stands for. Lord, on Veterans Day, for those who fight for its freedom, Lord, we thank you. Pray your protection upon each of those who are standing watch in one of our branches of the military, either here or around the world. Lord, we pray for this evening. Pray that you would lead us and guide us in our decision-making and give us wisdom in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you. You may be seated. All right, I need a motion to approve the agenda for this evening.
Madam Chair, I make a
Yes.
motion to approve the presented agenda.
Do I get a, excuse me, a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, we move on to take action on the personnel docket. I need a motion.
Madam Chair, I make a motion to approve the personnel docket as presented.
A second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Right. And now, we have Dr. Prince coming forward to speak about the Powhatan Education Foundation Classroom Innovation Grant Award winners.
Yes.
Mouthful.
While you come forward, good evening, Madam Chair, Dr. Tigan, and members of the board. Tonight, I have the opportunity as PEF board member to present the Student Innovative Grants to our recipients. I would also like to invite several of our PEF committee, Mr. Rick Cole, Ms. Dale Goodman, Ms. Joanne Woodson, and Ms. Catherine Wyatt. The Powhatan Education Foundation, PEF, is a 501(c)(3) nonprofit organization dedicated to enhancing the learning experience for students, teachers, and staff of the Powhatan County Public Schools by promoting innovative educational opportunities, recognizing outstanding achievements, and developing community partnerships. Each year, the PEF awards innovative classroom grants that present ideas for achieving the county's curricular goals, enhancing student personal development, and encouraging links with the community. This year, PEF received 17 grant requests, and 7 grants were fully or partially funded, making the grant award total $16,168.09. We will start with our first award recipient, Lauren Jacobs and Paul Schmartson. While they come forward, their project title, Touch and Learn, an interactive display to ignite curiosity in the high school. With this grant, students will be able to navigate their library catalog, participate in gamified class and club activities, explore curated college and career-related resources, and view and present student-created digital content such as artwork, videos, and writing using portable, standalone touchscreen device. Again, please give them a round of applause. Our next grant awardees, Kelly Terry and Kristen Benson. Their project title is Take a Futuristic View into Immersive Digital Learning with ViewSonic Interactive View Boards. The funds for this project will be used to purchase a view board. This digital teaching tool encourages student creativity, collaboration, communication, and interactive learning while immersing students in dynamic curriculum-based lessons that feature diverse learning strategies. Again, give them a round of applause. Our next award recipient is Ms. Libby Kitten. She could come forward. Her project is titled From Powhatan to the Stars, Inspiring Students' Curiosity with a Traveling Planetarium. The funds for this project will be used to purchase a portable inflatable planetarium dome with digital projection, and it will be used to provide immersive, standards-aligned instruction for grades 4 science, grade 6 science, and high school earth science and astronomy courses. Please give her another round of applause. Our next award recipient is Ms. Barbara Adcock. Her project is titled Energy Transfer, Insulators and Conductors of Thermal Energy. Her project endeavors to make the transfer of thermal energy more hands-on, more visible, and understandable to our students by allowing them to actually see the transfer of thermal energy with a portable thermal energy device, imaging device. Please give her another round of applause. Our next award recipient is Ms. Rebecca Crump. Her title of her project is Powering the Future. The project will provide 204th and 5th grade students at Pocahontas Elementary School with an innovative, integrated approach to learning science and technology. Students will work together to build and program prototypes of a windmill, flood detection system, and a smart street light. Please give her another round of applause. Our next award recipient is Jana Ford. And Jana, do you also have somebody else with you?
Yes, Caitlin Gordon.
And Caitlin Gordon. Okay. Her title and their title is Second Grade Outdoor Learning Space. With this grant, they will aim to create a multi-use environment where students can participate in academic outdoor learning, work in small groups on reading, math, science, and art, take movement or sensory breaks, and complete functional life skills and task-based learning. Please give them another round of applause. And our last group of recipients, Althea Hudson, who couldn't be here tonight, but Ms. Tracy Engel is also here to accept the award. And their title is Renaissance Festival. With the funds from this grant, they will be able to have a Renaissance Festival. The festival will be an immersive, cross-curricular experience that brings history to life while highlighting creativity, innovation, and hands-on learning. Please give her a round of applause. And at this time, if the board could step on the top level of the dais, and we will have our award recipients to stand in the front with PEF. Thank you.
All right, our next award for the night is the VSBA Academy Credit Awards for School Board and Superintendent. The Virginia School Board Association, VSBA, is an organization that provides training and services to local school boards, superintendents, and clerks in Virginia. It offers academic credit awards to school board members for attending training sessions. We are happy to recognize the following award winners. First, Mrs. Susan Smith, Board Chair, earned the Award of Distinction and a Starfish Pen for completing 84 credits in 2 years. Next, we have Mrs. Jeannie Wade, our Vice Chair. She earned the Award of Excellence and a Silver Pen for completing 48 credits in 2 years. And last but certainly not least, we have Dr. Beth Tigan, our superintendent. She earned the Award of Honor and a gold pen for completing 66 credits in 2 years. Congratulations to our award winners. Mrs. McFarland.
And the celebration continues. Tonight, Amanda and I are thrilled to come in front of you to talk about an award that we celebrate called Helping Hands Award. This award is designed to celebrate staff members across the school division who inspire, empower, and innovate with their work on a routine basis. This recognition, though, is unique because it welcomes nominations from all members of our community, including students, parents, colleagues, and supervisors. Over the past few weeks, we have been out in our schools celebrating our most recent winners. We have 4 of them. And tonight we bring them before you to continue the celebration. I'll start by announcing a winner. Amanda will share with you the nomination that was provided by the person that thought of their excellence, and then we'll ask that person to come up for a photo, but we'll also ask the person that nominated them, who's likely here tonight, to also join them for a photo as well. So let the celebrations begin, and we will begin with not one, but two have to come at the same time because they were nominated as a side-by-side joint effort. So Carissa Meeker and Michael Washburn from Pocahontas Elementary.
All right. So Ms. Meeker and Mr. Washburn were nominated by parents. These parents said, as parents, there's nothing more reassuring than knowing your child is not only learning, but thriving at school. That is exactly what we've seen in our son this year. Thanks to the incredible work of Ms. Meeker and Mr. Washburn, they have truly made learning enjoyable, creating a classroom filled with joy, curiosity, and a strong sense of community. From day one, they've gone above and beyond, and it shows. Our son is genuinely excited to go to school each morning and comes home eager to share everything he experienced throughout the day. Instead of the usual nothing when we ask what he learned, we now hear detailed stories, fun facts, and even the jokes and silly things they share in class. What we appreciate most is how they take the time to really know their students, not just as learners, but as people. They care deeply, and as parents and teachers ourselves, we see it when we visit the classroom and in the work he brings home. We were a little nervous about the big third grade transition from learning to read to reading to learn, but they've made it feel seamless, exciting, and empowering. We feel so lucky to have these amazing educators in our son's life. We know they're preparing him for academic success, including those big SOL tests, but even more importantly, they're helping him grow into a confident, supported, and happy learner. It means the world to us to know that our son is in a classroom where he is not only learning, but truly loved. Thank you, Ms. Meeker and Mr. Washburn. We see you, we appreciate you, and we are so grateful for all you do.
And is the Coveas family here? Are they here tonight, Mr. Ms. Coveas? Please come forward and take a picture with you. Thank you. How nice. Thank you. All right, next we would like to invite Carol Mack to the podium from Powhatan Elementary School.
Ms. Mack was also nominated by a parent from Powhatan Elementary. She said she wanted to send this email to speak on the actions of one of our staff members, Ms. Mack. She is absolutely amazing. Every single morning, she is at the car line with a huge smile, upbeat attitude, welcomes the children by name, and genuinely seems excited to see each and every child that steps into the sidewalk. I first got the pleasure of meeting Ms. Mack last year, and she left such a lasting impression on me. The way she sees every child, and I'm not talking about the sense of visually, I mean in the sense that she actually sees them. She gets to know them, she talks with them, she hugs them, and shows compassion. I pray she knows how valuable she is to so many of the children and families that walk the halls of Powhatan Elementary.
And is Miss Smith here tonight? Come on up, Miss Smith, thank you. Thank you for nominating. And our final winner tonight is Jennifer Lawson. She's unable to attend tonight, but we do want to celebrate her and share the excellent nomination that she received from Flat Rock Elementary.
And Ms. Lawson was also nominated by a parent. She said she is nominating Jennifer Lawson for the Empowerment Award in recognition of the incredible impact she has had on her daughter's well-being and confidence. Her daughter is 6 years old and is navigating ongoing health challenges that often require visits to the school nurse. What could have been a stressful and isolating experience has instead become one of comfort, encouragement, and empowerment, all thanks to Nurse Jen. She goes above and beyond to ensure her daughter feels safe, understood, and capable of managing her health needs. Her compassion and patience have transformed moments of uncertainty into opportunities for learning and self-advocacy. Her daughter often shares how much she trusts and appreciates her nurse, saying that Nurse Jen makes me feel better, and she's one of my best friends. Beyond her daily care, Nurse Jen is a true advocate. She actively communicates with her daughter's teachers to help them understand her needs and ensure she receives consistent support throughout the school day. Her thoughtful coordination and genuine concern create a sense of continuity that helps my daughter thrive both physically and emotionally. She doesn't just provide care, she builds confidence. She has helped my daughter feel strong and supported on her health journey, and her kindness has made lasting difference in both her child's life and the family's peace of mind. Her empathy, professionalism, and empowering approach make her an outstanding example of what it means to truly care for students.
And is Miss Knuckles here tonight? Is Miss Knuckles here? Yay! And we look forward to the next round of award winners in the future. Thank you.
And now we will hear from our school liaison, Miss Ella Yarhouse. Ella?
Hello and good evening, everyone. It's hard to believe that it's already November. These past few back, but this month I'd like to highlight our middle school. Before I go any further, I'd like to start by sharing some of the events and activities previously mentioned. Starting with Powhatan High School, our seniors were able to carry on the paint your own parking spot tradition from last school year as one of their senior privileges. Some notable parking spots include a shark, cow print, Rapunzel, and sunset themes. If you're ever at the high school, I highly recommend that you check out the amazing artwork done by the students. Additionally, the students and clubs do not mess around when it comes to Halloween traditions. Just like last year, the high school hosted a Halloween trunk or treat in the back bus loop. Numerous clubs, honor societies, and organizations had the opportunity to pick out their theme and set up a booth accordingly. Some fan favorites included Willy Wonka, Pink Out, and Spooky Season booths. Students of all ages enjoyed the evening dressing up, playing games, and, of course, collecting candy. Later that evening, the Leftovers Relay for Life Club decorated and prepared for the annual Breast Cancer Awareness Pink Out game. The stands were decorated pink. The football players, cheerleaders, and our dance team also wore pink accessories to support the cause. During halftime, survivors and caretakers were recognized and given roses. Truly, what an exciting month. Moving on to the elementary schools, after speaking with multiple students and their families about the month, the reoccurring topic of conversation was the trunk or treat and fall festivals. Students enjoyed getting dressed up and enjoying all of the fun activities at both their schools and the high school. Each fall festival was unique but equally exciting. Teachers and staff members dressed up and decorated their classrooms for the events. The students were able to play games, win prizes. Of course, they also enjoyed their fill of food and treats. Aside from the festivities, Powhatan Elementary recently recognized its official Safety Patrol members. I had the pleasure of speaking with a few of the members and asking them why they decided to volunteer for the position. Responses ranged from wanting to help others, I like guiding the other kids and keeping things organized, to I wanted to get more involved with my school. Congratulations to our 5th grade students. I know I did things a little bit out of order, but don't think I forgot about the middle school. This month, I asked some new questions and received some creative responses. I want to share 3 of those conversations with you all. Each student received the same two questions, starting with student 1. I asked, what is something you'd like to add or change about your school? their first response was, "I wish we had school pep rallies the way the high school does it. My brother always tells me how cool they are, and I think our sports teams would like to have those too." I then asked, "What would you do to make this possible?" And their response was, "I think I'd probably set up different committees to plan and organize things. Maybe we could decorate different hallways too, like we did for the reading week." Student 2, I asked the same first question, "What is something you'd like to change or add about your school?" And their response was, "I want to do more class activities, like where classes teach and work on stuff together, essentially have larger collaborative activities." I then asked, "What would you do to make this possible?" And their response was, "Probably start by talking to my teachers about what things they have planned, and then see if any other teachers are doing the same things. Then we could all meet up on a day that works." Student 3, I asked the same question. Their response was, "I would change where we have class." I asked for clarification, and I was told, "I think we should have more class and learning time in the courtyard, library, or even the STEM lab. It makes class more interesting." I then asked, "What would you do to make this possible?" And the response was, "Maybe I could check with my teachers ahead of time to see if we could have class outside or reserve a space in the library. I would help them plan for it too if they wanted." Each of these students shared some valuable feedback, and I asked them if they needed any additional help accomplishing these tasks. They said no, but if they did, they would ask their friends or teachers for it. Overall, it's been an inspiring few weeks, and I'm so excited that I can share with you as well that the senior class has officially begun their college application process. So whether you're planning to attend college, trade school, you're graduating early, or entering our workforce, or joining our armed forces, I wish you the best of luck, and I encourage you to take advantage of the resources around you. Additionally, thank you to the high school's counseling department, which organized the week of October 27th for Red Ribbon Week. This was our drug prevention week. Finally, I'd like to thank the students, parents, and staff who made all of these events possible, and of course, the students who spoke with me. Thank you all, and I'm looking forward to what next month brings.
Light is on related service providers here at PCPS, and Dr. Lynn Clayton Prince will speak to us about that at this time.
Disability Awareness Month, but we decided to highlight our related service providers and provide a little bit more information about our related service providers. So we have created a video, thanks to Laura McFarland, of our related service providers, and we'll go ahead and get started with that.
Maybe.
Director of Special Education for Powhatan County Public Schools, I'm honored to share this reflection on Disability Awareness Month, a time dedicated to celebrating the strengths, talents, and contributions of individuals with disabilities. Throughout this month, our schools have embraced the spirit of inclusion and awareness in powerful ways. This celebration would not be complete without recognizing the incredible work of our related service providers, who ensure that every student has access to the support, tools, and encouragement they need to thrive. Our speech therapists empower students to communicate with confidence and connect meaningfully with their peers and teachers. Our school psychologists provide guidance, compassion, and strategies that nurture both emotional well-being and academic success. Our occupational therapists help students gain independence and strengthen the skills needed for daily life and learning. Our physical therapists support mobility and participation, ensuring that students can move, explore, and engage in every aspect of school life. Our teacher of the vision impaired brings light and access to learning through creativity and individualized support. Our transition service coordinator walks beside students as they prepare for life beyond high school, helping them dream, plan, and achieve their future goals. And our assistive technology team brings the gap between challenge and opportunity through innovation and adaptive tools. Together, these professionals remind us that inclusion is not just an innovative tool, it is who we are. Their work ensures that every student is valued, supported, and celebrated for their abilities. As Disability Awareness Month comes to a close, we extend our deepest appreciation to our related service providers for their passion, dedication, and unwavering belief in our students' potential.
Thank you. And next, we have Courtney Jarman, Chief School Officer, and Katie Matheny, Director of Student Support Services, to talk about the bullying procedures.
Good evening, members of the board. We just quickly wanted to go through what happens if bullying is reported. So once a report is made, either verbally, written, it can be through silence hurts, an email, a phone call, and a hallway to the teacher, that really starts kind of our timeline here. So the first thing we do is document the date, the time, the incident, any initial information we can get from that person. And within the first 24 hours per Virginia code, we need to notify any parents of anyone involved. So that would include the victim and/or the alleged bully. The next step we go through with our administration, and more times than not, our counseling department is with us as well. We will do an investigation process. We will interview the alleged bully, the victim, any witnesses, that could be teachers, other people in the area. We'll also look for if there have been social media posts, text messages, videos. So we really do a ton of fact-finding, collecting any evidence we have, talking with witnesses, talking with the alleged bully and the victim, as well as parents. After we get all of that information, again, it's in tandem with the counseling department, we will record those findings on a spreadsheet. Any time that there is an alleged bullying incident, whether it's founded or unfounded, it goes on a spreadsheet and is saved so we can go back and see how many times this is happening. So within that spreadsheet, again, we have the date, the time, the incidents, whether it was founded, unfounded, the people involved, the person working with the student or students afterwards, and whatever our follow-up next steps are. That is all documented. Then we go into a planning meeting of those next steps. So next steps could be anything from restorative practices all the way up to suspension or long-term suspension. And then lastly, we will follow up with the parent, all of the parents, because everyone got initial notification, whether you're the alleged bully or the alleged victim. We will call and let them know the outcome of the investigation. And then every party is also given a letter, whether it was founded or unfounded. So the alleged bully gets a letter as well as the victim gets the letter. And that's the process that we go through for bullying. Do you guys have any questions of us?
Right, board, do you have questions?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
not really questions, but a comment. I think it's really important. I know that we have made some discussion about some potential training for parents and community, because bullying is not just a problem in the schools. Unfortunately, as we all know, it's endemic in our culture. And I think it's really important that we get everyone in the community on board together to try to stop. And I know people being mean and bullying goes back probably since God put us on this earth, unfortunately. But I think we really need to think outside the box and really work hard. We're not going to solve it. I know that's unrealistic, unfortunately. I would love to fix it. I know you ladies would love to fix it as well. All of us would. But I think we really need to think outside the box and come up with some ways of educating people and getting an all hands on deck kind of attitude about addressing this issue in our schools and in our community. So if we can look into, I know I've discussed with you, Dr. Tigan, some sort of community workshops, educational type things. I think anything we do will be most helpful. So just throwing that out there. Thank you.
How about getting resources in the hands of parents? Do we have a plan for that?
Sure. So far this year, we did a bullying prevention brochure that went to all of our students in the county. And on this brochure, it had the definition of bullying, examples of bullying, how to work with your child and work with the school, how to report it. So really just getting it in the hands. We tried to make it visually great, so maybe it could, something that could stand out and possibly go on a refrigerator or, somewhere where you could find it again as a resource. We also, in October, did our virtual coffee chat, and the focus was bullying. That was recorded. We do have it posted on the website, and it'll also be pushed out through our principals' weekly memos so that parents can have the opportunity to go back and watch that as well. We also addressed similar things as the brochure, but went into more detail, again, about how we're preventing things at school, and how we handle it at school and consequences at school, but also things at home, such as signs to look for, how to talk to your student about it, and then how you can also work with the school and your child to help, solve the conflict or the bullying that is going on. So we plan to continue those things. So a workshop, continuing talking, I think just keeping the conversation going with parents and making sure we're open, and also encouraging the students, if they see something, they say something, or if something is happening to them, that they need to tell a trusted adult so that we can continue to support and help them. I know at the beginning of the year, our schools have different ways, depending elementary in their classrooms. Their teachers talk about what bullying is, how to report bullying. At the secondary, they do assemblies, and then all of our schools will continue that conversation and reminders again in January, just to kind of keep it on, at the top, so that nothing's kind of being pushed to the side.
The other thing we really encourage parents to do is go through phones of their child and look for social media and text messages. I recently just watched a documentary on Netflix called Unknown Number. I'm guessing Mrs. Hurt, you saw it. It was a very interesting documentary just about how bullying can happen and the severity it can get to, and how hard it can be to identify when we're really looking at cyberbullying and through the means of electronic communication. So really educating parents that you might not physically see it, but it could be happening in our virtual world.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Ms. Ward.
I want to also thank you guys so much for, working on this. And I think the key is for the school division, as we are, to continue to work with the parents. So we're doing our best here to set policies, which are the rules here of the behavior that's going to be acceptable or not acceptable. And we need that enforcement and that support from those parents in the homes. And, again, we can only control but so much, but parents, we need to be teaching our children what better behavior is and how to be kind. And even if you don't, we're not saying that everybody's going to always like everybody, but you don't have to be mean and ugly about it. And, but we have to have that parent involvement. And they have to, let's see, what is that? We were discussing soft parenting, or I don't know. What is it? Yeah, soft parenting. It doesn't work. So, and sometimes, our families just really need to be supportive with us here. We're trying to educate their children and create that environment, and we need that support from our families. So thank you for continuing to working positively with the families instead of maybe an issue coming up and then working it retro backwards. So I appreciate that.
Madam Chair.
Dr. Taylor?
Yes. I just have two simple questions here, and I think it flows out of what Mrs. Smithini was, maybe both of you have just mentioned, but could you just simply define bullying as it's indicated or listed in the Students' Rights and Responsibilities for us, just as a reminder of what it is?
Are you looking for the exact definition of
Well,
just
it doesn't have to be exact.
paraphrase?
You don't have to give me exact word for word, but as close as possible, like.
I was going to grab it if you wanted the exact
I mean,
definition.
I expected you to have it memorized. So I'm a little disappointed this evening,
Have
but
it right here. We're really looking at like a three-prong approach, and I'll let Mrs. Matheny jump in as well, but is there an intent to harm? And that could be physically, emotionally, but looking at that intent to harm. Is there, 2, a power imbalance? And then 3, is it repeated over time? Or is there such severe emotional trauma attached to it? So it needs to hit those 3 things for it to be considered bullying.
okay. Follow-up question to that would be, can you give me an example of what bullying would be and an example of what something that's not bullying, but someone may think it's bullying? Can you think of a simple scenario?
Yeah, I'm sure I could. So some of the ones that, probably the unfounded is the ones that are reported mostly. So that would be kind of teasing, like, and it teasing in a way that they're trying to be funny or trying to, so not, again, the intent to harm or to be cruel. Or a conflict between 2, so you might have 2 children, they each have their own side and they're going back and forth. So it's, again, not an imbalance of power. They're both going back and forth, and it's because they might have an opinion about something. And then with both of those, again, it's not repeated. So again, if it was something and it was the same tune as repeated and imbalance in power became, then it could move into a bullying situation. So you have to kind of look at it individually. An example of one, it seems like it's an imbalance of power. I think of, we might see like on the bus where you might have, a first grader and a fifth grader, and the fifth grader is constantly saying something to them. So you have the imbalance of power. If you have an older student and a younger student, so right there, that would be an imbalance of power by age, possibly, or intimidation, because obviously by size, they could be intimidated, by age and just by maturity. So that could be an imbalance of power.
Okay.
And again, repeated over and over again. So not just one time coming in and saying something, but if it's happened repeatedly. So that would kind of be two of the prongs. And the third, it was intended to be cruel or to harm.
So in that situation, she did too. I think we can get confused at times with repeated over time. So I'm just going to take the example she just gave, if it is a first and fifth grader, and maybe the fifth grader in the afternoon time says to this first grader, if you get on the bus tomorrow, then it's going to go bad for you. So now we have an imbalance of power and intent to harm. Well, we get that report and we start investigating it. And if we have found out over time, similar things have happened to this first grader. This really isn't the first time. It has been repeated over time. We just didn't know about it. So we've hit our 3 prongs there. Sometimes there can be that misconception that it's got to be reported multiple times. If we have evidence that the action has been repeated over and over, then we can classify it, even if it's that first report, as bullying if it hits the other 2.
So every time there's a report or something like that, we are quick to investigate, go through the findings, come to an evaluation of what it is, and then take the next steps in discipline.
We have to contact within 24 hours. We will, if it is an immediate safety concern, so for that example that she just gave, you're going to be sorry if you get on the bus tomorrow. That's an immediate safety concern.
Sure.
So we're going to jump on that right away, so the investigation would be fast.
Yeah.
Depending on the elements and the amount of information we need to collect, if there's 10 kids involved, it might not be as quick of a process. The process has started, but we need to make sure we do it thoroughly to make sure we have all of the information before we move forward with our discipline and our next steps.
My question was not to talk about the length of that. It was just to say we do take action on this.
Have to within 24 hours, Virginia code.
Yeah.
Miss, are you done? Mrs. Wade? I have a question. It seems to me that the most important thing is that the report should come in to the school. That's the first step in any situation, right? before we can get going on anything. So if there are things happening, a student has to either feel comfortable in reporting it himself or herself, or the parent needs to be comfortable in contacting the teacher. If not the teacher, is there someone in the school who is the catch-all for these phone calls?
Well,
Could be that the child doesn't want to report it. Mom, don't call. Please don't call. Please. But mom she knows this continues to go on. What's that parent supposed to do?
I would encourage that parent or that student to go to Silence Hurts. It is for our middle school and our high school. It is an anonymous reporting where you can put all of the information in there, but you're not putting who is reporting. You're just giving some of the details, and it goes to administration and to counseling.
And how about elementary?
So with elementary, we encourage if it's not the teacher, the school counselor. A lot of them have the relationships with the students and the parents, and school counselors, are known for their ability to talk through situations with students, or any of the administrators. So any school counselor, any administrator at any of the levels would be another trusted adult that they can talk to.
So the personnel answering the phone in the office knows how to connect the parent with the right person.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I think that's where I'm trying to go there with that. All right, thank you.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I just thought of something else. People, call and talk to me about their child being bullying, and I always say, please contact your child's teacher or principal. But people have to realize that we don't have a one-on-one relationship. There's not an adult watching every second of every social interaction between two children. And as much as we would like to catch when some child is being mean or bullying for both the victim and the bully, because it's not a benefit for either one, but people have to realize that we need people to report and tell us. And even if you're not certain, just say something to someone so it can be investigated, because we can't be eyes on every single situation, and that's why it's so important to people to let us know so that we can investigate it.
Yeah.
So, wish we could see every unkind thing that's said to every child, but we just aren't there every second of the day.
We need to report. And when in doubt, pick up the phone and call and report and talk to someone anyway in the schools. All right. Any other questions or comments? All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And now we move on to academic discussions for this evening. Meaningful Watershed Educational Experience. We know it as the MeWe. So Miss Libby Kitten, you're up. Or somebody. Well, that's not her.
I am not Miss Libby Kitten, but I will tell you that she is the voiceover on this video, and then the next video, which will highlight our farm day, the voiceover is, I believe, Barbara Adcock, who is also not physically here any longer, but she is, oh,
They're right there.
oh my gosh, they're both there. Just kidding. Would you all like to come up, or are you good?
I know my glasses need cleaning, but not that bad.
This is what happens when you sit at the front. You don't see who all's here, so I gotta work on that.
Well, ladies, don't be bashful. Come on down here so everybody can
Each
see.
year, all Powhatan County Public Schools fourth graders participate in a division-wide field trip called the Meaningful Watershed Educational Experience, or MeWe for short. It's a chance for students to step outside the classroom and engage directly with the environment, learning not just about our watershed, but also learning about how their actions affect it. We usually host the event outdoors at Fighting Creek Park, but this year the weather didn't cooperate. So instead of canceling, we pivoted and moved indoors to Pocahontas Elementary and Powhatan Elementary. Most of the activities were easily adapted to a classroom setting, and for the ones that weren't, we got creative. For example, our students weren't able to collect macroinvertebrates from a stream, so we brought the stream to the students. It was still very exciting, and the kids were able to study these important little creatures up close. What really makes Powhatan's MeWe unique is who leads it. Each station is taught by high school students from our AP Environmental Science and Ecology classes. These students spend several weeks researching and preparing 20-minute lessons and activities for the fourth graders. It's especially rewarding to see how their teaching evolves over the course of the day. They're very reflective, and just like classroom teachers, they continually tweak their lessons. We're incredibly fortunate to have community partners with expertise supporting each station. They're on hand to help with some of the surprisingly complicated questions that fourth graders love to ask. By the end of the day, our high schoolers are confident and comfortable leading the sessions. Over the course of the day, many of them get to see the very teachers who taught them, and there's something very powerful about that kind of full circle moment. As for our fourth graders, they're not just participating in a lesson. They're learning how their everyday choices impact our local streams and the Chesapeake Bay, and they're starting to understand what it means to care about the world around them. At the end of the day, our goal is simple. We want students to leave with a stronger connection to their environment and the sense that they don't have to wait to make a difference. They already can.
Would you like to say something?
Thanks to all of you for coming out. I know I saw several of you, and over the years, you have been willing to tromp through the forest with us, and we really appreciate your support. I feel like it is truly a community event. I think it's something that has become ingrained in the culture of Powhatan, and I don't think that's possible without a lot of support, so thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Kitten. And our next,
Madam Chair,
yes, ma'am.
could I take this moment while Ms. Kitten is here to acknowledge that she has been recognized for the MeWe project for a VACO award. And so rather than asking you to come out maybe in December, can we recognize her here today for taking this and submitting it and being recognized in that way? So thank you.
Thank you. Yes. All right. And our next talk about is the Farm Day.
We are at Farm Day for our third graders. The Extension Office helps put this together for us. We have community partners from all over the county as well as Goochland, and they come out and they show the kids all about soil and the different things that grow in the soil and why it's so important. They talk about the math that's involved in farming, the science and all the technology that's new to farming. We even have drones that farmers use. And Kathy Howland of our Extension Office, she does a wonderful job of organizing and getting all these people together. We love having our high school students and our middle school students out really mentoring our younger kids and showing what they can do.
We are doing cards that show commodities. We're talking about the commodities, and then we're putting puzzle pieces down that represent the commodities. Most of these kids, we do live in Powhatan, but not all of them know about all of our agricultural things in Virginia. And we asked several students about commodities today, and almost none of them knew what commodities meant. So being outside in the present of these commodities must help a lot.
Farm Day is too many yeses.
Yeah, it's way too many.
Because it's so fun, and all the people at the tents are great to interact with, and they're very kind.
Yeah.
And also it feels very great out here.
Yeah.
So I totally recommend this place.
Yeah.
And we also saw this one with all the place called Landon Cooks. And it has leaf growers, tractors, and lawnmowers. And we also went and saw this baby calf and two goats. The goats' names were Ruby and Daisy, and the cat's name was Buck. Yeah.
I'm feeling good. It's just a lot of stuff like animals I don't want to touch because
No, I don't trust them that much. Farm day has been fun. It's been really hot. I like to touch the animals, but for the bees, I've been just off about. I did not like the bees, but everything else was really fun. The horses. There was like this certain type of hay, and we got to feed them it, but it was like candy to them, and they really liked it.
So this is actually wonderful timing for us. Our third grade classes have just learned about soil. They've learned about composting with worms. They're doing that in their classrooms. And then they come out here and they see all of these people that are doing these jobs, that are doing this for a living, a lot of them. They're just really applying what they learned in class, and that's the big thing. We want the kids to make meaning, and whenever they can apply what they've learned and really see that it matters in the real world, it makes a big difference.
Any other comments? Ms. Barbara, you got anything else you'd like to share?
Yes, we're grateful, Mrs. Smith and Mrs. Wade. We're some of our vendors out there helping us. And this really couldn't happen without Kathy Howland. She really puts it all together for us. She gets all these community members, and of course, we're very grateful for our community all coming together to do this for our kids. So thank you.
Thank you.
And while they're going back to their seats, in addition to our community partners, these two ladies are instrumental in making this happen, literally climbing in streams and pulling out organisms and chasing escaped crawfish that have escaped in the night across trailers to set up for MeWe in the morning. So big thanks to them for making sure that our kids get a cool experience.
All right. It is now public comment. In accordance with School Board Policy BDDH, KD, and BDDH-R, any resident of Powhatan County Schools and any staff member may address the board during public comment. All speakers who wish to speak must sign up before public comment begins. If the speaker has a handout or information for the board, please give it to the clerk. Individuals get 3 minutes to speak. Pre-approved delegations get 5. No one can sign up to speak and relinquish their speaking time to another. Please address comments to the board as a whole, not individual board members, the audience, or the staff. The board will not respond or address issues raised during public comment. The board chair is authorized to stop or remove any speaker who uses vulgar, disruptive, or threatening language. A maximum of 30 minutes will be designated for public comment this evening. Those who signed up will be called by the board chair to the podium to speak. Please begin your speaking time by stating your full name and district. Tammy Daniels. Welcome.
Hi, nice to be back again. I was not planning on being here tonight. I usually speak in regards to things that have been said to me by other parents, teachers, staff. Oh, Tammy Daniels, Vicki Hurts District. Sorry about that. But tonight I had something hit close to home, and I think it needs to be addressed. I have a granddaughter who is mentally disabled. She is autistic. She goes to a private day school. I am concerned with the way that Powhatan keeps their copies of who is to be in contact, who is allowed access to this child, and everything else. Because we've had 3 incidences this year where we've had problems. The first was there was a transportation issue where they couldn't pick her up from day school. And they were going to call a person who is not allowed contact with her because they were using records from 3 years ago. We changed her records 2 years ago. That person is deemed by the court and her providers no contact. That could have been catastrophic. We had another issue with our IEP scheduled, where that same person was put on an invite list, even though they have the copy of the court papers that that person is not to be invited. We had to go straighten that out. She's still going to day school. We had a problem with a driver. This driver apparently has never heard of FERPA. That's where you're not supposed to, if you are a driver, an educator, or whatever, you are not supposed to discuss your students with other people, especially with mental health issues. And this woman did. She spoke to someone else, relayed messages to her. This child ended up having a mental breakdown on us. It is my grandchild. She absolutely had a massive mental breakdown, and we are suffering for it. I've got injuries where she scratched me, kicked me. She bit another child who was trying to help me stop her from running away, all because that driver mentioned someone that she was not to have contact with. They need to get better about this, because our understanding is nobody had taught this driver about FERPA. She had no clue that she wasn't supposed to get that personal. It is an issue that needs to be addressed, because some of these issues can cause catastrophic events in families. This is not fair to the families that you are not educating teachers, drivers, whoever, on the laws. It needs to be corrected, and it needs to be corrected soon. And I know I've only got a couple of seconds, but I do know that under Trump, extra money was given to schools. Don't know if we got any of it or whatever, for mental health education. If we got it, how are we using it? Because according to your transportation department, there has been no training on these things to their drivers. And we were told they would not replace her driver. I cannot, in good conscience, put that child in that car with that driver, knowing that she is not understanding the laws, and she already caused her to have a mental breakdown. But we were told, oh, well, that's the driver we have available. You can access it or not. That's not fair. Y'all are supposed to provide her transportation, but we're told, figure it out. That's not fair to the child. It's not fair to us. But for them to think that we are going to trust that driver after she broke laws, I'm sorry, that's an issue for me. And it's time Powhatan County start addressing their special education with a little bit more concern.
Thank you. Now, as we move down to the consent agenda, we have minutes from the regular school board on October the 14th, a monthly financial report, review of bills and receipts, school board facilities use report, and donations. I need a motion, a second, and a vote. If there's anything you want to pull out, or do you want to take this as a group?
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we accept the consent agenda items A through F as presented.
Madam Chair, I'll second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Unopposed? All right, motion passed. Now, under action items, we have Ms. Jeannie Wade.
Yes, ma'am.
These are yours.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, so we are doing the first reading, isn't that right? The first reading for the policy.
Second reading.
Second reading. See, let's see who says it on the first. Okay. Sorry, the
Number 13, section.
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry. We received no shareholder comments on this policy JECB for the second reading. It was the modified to add elective courses an option for participation for homeschool. And we removed the VHSL options. So nothing was, no shareholder comments.
All right. Any comments by board members? Any questions? I need a motion, a second, and a vote on this, please.
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion that we adopt the updated policy JECB.
A second?
I'll second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Right, motion passes 5-0. Policy and regulation updates from June 2025.
Yes, Madam Chair, these are the policies that were brought forth in June of 2025. There were no shareholder comments. Let's see, one was BCF, the advisory committees to the school board. That policy was updated per Powhatan County Public Schools and VSBA. BCF-F were advisory committees to the school board, the application form. It was a new policy, and it added existing application to the policy. BDDE were rules of order, reviewed, no changes per VSBA. Let's see. BHD, school board member compensation and benefits, added salary and statement about benefits. EEA was student transportation services, added statements about state-maintained roads. GAB, IIBEA, and the acceptable computer system use, and that was updated per VSBA. GAD, access to employee social media accounts, no changes. It was reviewed and no changes per VSBA. GBEB, staff weapons in school, again, an update for VSBA. GBF, report of discrimination, it was reviewed, no changes. GCB, professional staff contracts, was updated per VSBA. GCBDD is annual leave, and it was updated, the annual leave requirements. GCBDD-R, removed the superintendent approval for leave and request for unpaid leave with resignation. GCG was professional staff probationary term and continued contract. It was just updated with the wording. IEB, the national motto, reviewed, no changes. JCJ, classroom assignment for twins, that was updated per VSBA. JECR, school admission regulations, that was updated. JED, student absences. And JEDR, student absences regulations, and dismissals were just updated. Only a couple more left. JEG, exclusions and exemptions from school attendance were updated. JFC, student conduct, added references only per VSBA. JFCD, weapons in school, updated. JFCI, substance abuse student assistance program, and it added the references for that. LC were charter schools, that was updated wording policy, and LC-E, Powhatan County Charter School application addendum, updated and put the application in there. Did you have anything else? Did I cover that?
All right, any questions on any of those policies? All right, I need a motion, a second, and a vote.
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we adopt the policy and regulation updates for item B under action items.
Second?
Madam Chair, I'll second.
All right, and a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Right? FY27 budget calendar. Dr. Tigan.
Yes, ma'am. The calendar was brought forth, the budget calendar for 27 was brought forth at the last meeting, and it's coming back this time. I did not receive any recommended changes from any board members, and if there are none, recommend this being adopted at this time.
How about comments on this? Posted. Usually there's lots of questions.
This is strictly for the school board and school.
Oh, just for, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Wrong calendar.
And the other calendar's coming.
I figured.
Correct.
I figured. All
This is
right.
just, all the different meetings associated with the budget process, and dates are provided for that are pertinent to the school board, pertinent to the Board of Supervisors, that involves information about possibly schools just for awareness, and then things are in green that are just timeframes that, are things that don't require the school board, but impact us as school employees that are helping lead this process with our staff.
Any questions, comments? No? Yes? No? All right, then let's hear a motion and a second, please.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
I make a motion that we approve the second review of the budget calendar FY '27.
And a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Perkins Award increases for 23 and 25. Dr. Tigan.
Yes, I recommend that the approval of the additional appropriation of Perkins funding from award year 2023 in the amount of $823.74 and $564.15 in additional AY 25 funding for a total of $1,387.89 additional. These are just funds that have been unused across the state and that they pull it back in and redistribute it. So this is not our main allocation of funding under the Perkins Grant, which supports our career and workforce development program. But it is every little bit, we'll take it.
All right. I need a motion, a second, and a vote, please.
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we adopt action item letter D for the Perkins Award increases for 23 and 25.
Madam Chair, I'll second.
Right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. FY 2026 Title I increases.
Similarly, there is Title I money that is being added that's additional, and so I recommend approval of the additional appropriation of the Title I funding from the award year of 2025 in the amount of $2,988.89.
Right, I need a motion, a second, and a vote, please.
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to approve.
A second?
Madam Chair, I'll second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries 5-0. New I Teach Title II federal grant.
Yes, through the Title II federal grant, Powhatan has been awarded an I Teach grant for $9,600, which provides support in recruiting and retaining educators in high-needs areas. And so we currently have 3 special education teachers who are enrolled in online courses, and this will, that will assist them in receiving their provisional license and the coursework necessary for a full renewable license. And so this money would be used to support them as they continue this process to full licensure.
All right. I need a motion, please.
Madam Chair, I make a motion to accept the I Teach Title II federal grant.
A second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Approval of the School Board Advisory Committee.
Yes, I'm excited to bring forth tonight some career and workforce development members of their committee. And so we have Robert Powers, Nathan Mitchell, Patricia Butler, Roxanne Salerno, Lauren Baird, and Stephanie Lennon. So we're excited. Many of these are returning, and we're excited to see them coming back along with the new ones.
Madam Chair, I make a motion to approve the School Board Advisory Committee for sets, letter G.
All right, and do I have a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Are we in need of any more people to serve on these committees?
I don't believe we are. We was gifted, still need some volunteers willing to serve on that advisory committee.
Just gifted. Everyone else, we've got a good number for.
Title I is okay?
Yes, I serve on both of those committees. We need you, parents, community members,
Staff members?
staff members that would like to be in. We got a new staff member at the last meeting. So come on out and find out what it's all about. All right. So now, school board legislative priorities. I need to know if there is any additions to this list that board members would like to propose to the board for consideration. Hearing crickets.
Madam Chair, I have a
Crickets?
question for Dr. Tigan.
All right, ask your question.
Dr. Tigan, in regards to the teacher shortage, I know we've had a conversation. The last dot point require probational teachers to complete all requirements for licensure before receiving continuing status and allow up to 5 years of probational status. Were we supporting that long period of time? I thought we wanted to shorten
They
it.
need to be, what we're asking for is alignment between how long they have to get their full license and when tenure happens. So we want those two things to be aligned. So they both either need to be 3 years or they both need to be 5 years.
Okay. I remember we were having that
Yes, ma'am.
discussion. I just didn't quite understand it written this way. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else? Anyone else? No comment? All right, I need a motion.
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion.
Thank you. And do I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Sorry. Spaced out there for a second.
Motion passes 5-0. All right. And moving right along. Mrs. Wade, more policies.
Okay, this is some policy updates that are doing their first reading. We have policy BFC, which is policy adoption, and it adds a part to include 2 readings before adoption. GCDA, effect of the criminal conviction or founded complaint or child abuse or neglect, and that's going to include a statement requiring employees to notify of any changes within 5 days of charges. GCPF-R, suspension of employees, and that is also to include these employees notify within 5 days. DJA is purchasing authority. It added a statement about contracts and service agreements. DJF is the purchasing procedure that added a statement about the contract and service agreement because you have a procedure. And LBD had home instruction, which was updated per VSBA. So these updates, anyone wishing to comment or review on these policies can click on the link and share their feedback.
All righty. And moving on to the 26-27 secondary course guide, first draft. Dr. Stewart?
I'll do my best to summarize a 60-page document in just a couple of minutes. But first, I just want to say thank you to all of the teachers, counselors, administrators, specialists who have worked to pull this together while also working and supporting through the first quarter of this school year and thinking about next school year, which is always a challenge to do. But our goal was to try to get this out so that it would be ready in January so that they could start scheduling immediately. So thank you to all those folks. Do I have the thing? Just kidding. I have it right here. So the big things that you'll notice immediately is for the cover. It looks much more inviting than the functional version that I used last year. So thank you to Laura McFarlane for her quick work on helping to redesign this. And just a side note for the 27-28 school year, I'm already thinking that way. We're going to hopefully have, we're going to try to see if we can have some students design the cover moving forward. We have some digital design students. That would be really cool for them to be able to contribute to that. So at the middle and high school. Maybe even elementary school, who knows? We'll see how it goes. Generally speaking, the format is remaining the same with the exception of trying to group the middle and high school courses together within each of those areas. Previously, they were sort of intermixed, and it was a little bit difficult to find the lines between them. So we're going to try it that way and see if that's helpful. So we have middle first listed, the courses in that guide, and then high school is listed second. In the middle school section, we do have some new courses. Some of these relate to some of the advancement opportunities that we have either in front of us for this year or for coming, like looking ahead. We have some advanced opportunities too, just to offer some different pathways for students. So we have what you see there, civics, economics for 7th grade advanced, integrated science 2 for 7th advanced, some exploratory wheels, both to include some of the career pathways that we had looked at last month for the Go Tech grant. So we don't have that specifically laid out yet because we don't have the grant yet, but we are in motion for working with the CCAM folks to put that grant into play. So as soon as we hear from them, we'll be able to include that part. And then some other electives courses that are in there, some STEM rotations, which we did talk a little bit about last time. And then some new additions, a health and medical exploratory course to provide another option and a pathway, again, to lead into the high school so we can continue to grow pathways for students from the middle school level. Principles of bioscience, and then a Math 8 Algebra 1 class, which would provide a different on-ramp into advanced math work so that kids would have another pathway at the middle school level to hop into advanced math work at the high school level. And then, just some general course codes. We're still working on clarifying some of those. Frankly, some of them are not clear at the VDOE with some of the changes that are being made. So as we get those, we will definitely, we've been updating to the draft that I have that was printed after, well, your printed version was set up and posted here prior to, a couple weeks in advance so that it was here for you all. But we're still making changes and we'll continue to make some of those little minute changes as we go. And then we have archived no courses in middle or high school, but if we look at what's new for high school, again, some different on-ramp and off-ramp opportunities for students to go advanced or go advanced and go back not advanced if that's their need, just to allow them some flexibilities there. So you'll see some courses there for an Algebra 1 honors class specifically. And this Algebra 1 Extended sounds like a weird name. It's not the official name. We're trying to figure out exactly how it fits into the codes as we're working through that. But basically, it would be an opportunity to sort of augment the Algebra 1 experience for students who need additional support, but making sure that we're flexing and supporting students in that way so they can successfully complete Algebra 1 with the appropriate supports at the high school level. And then we've added HVAC 2 to continue to provide that pathway. And we are currently working on making sure that JROTC and online health can be offered starting really at the 9th grade level as an option for students who may be of interest to that. In 2024, House Bill 98 provided us, the school boards, the local option to allow for students to enroll in JROTC and an online health course to complete their their Health MPE 9 and Health MPE 10 coursework. We're looking just at 9th grade to see if there's opportunity there, again, to grow pathways for advanced students, also for students who are really just looking to be in the workforce with some of our CTE program, CWD program, Career and Workforce Development program coursework, and then Also, students who are looking to enlist or at least want to explore what it might be like to learn some of those leadership skills and move forward. And then there are some additional electives, which you can see there towards the bottom, with the 20th century history and foreign policy, history of warfare, history of sport, some electives that were previously archived, so they've been approved in the past, but there are some teachers who are interested in bringing them back to light to provide some pathways, again, for electives for students to learn different things, but I think some of these have some interesting connections to some of our marketing work, or if you're interested in some kind of sports theory, trying to find some ways to keep our kids learning in their area of preference. And then again, pulling Horticulture 3, Floriculture back into light, as well as our Turf Grass Management 2 class, and then Education for Employment, which is specific for SPED students, special education students who require a placement, and that's a course in which it works on interviewing skills and resume building for students to go out into a working situation. So we have those, and again, there might be some others. I also wanted to just share too that we have an opportunity, much like we have an opportunity already with Goochland to benefit from some of the classes that they offer that we do not offer, and vice versa. We have been extended the invitation to also participate with, they have an up-and-coming robotics, megatronics, and logistics set of classes that we're still waiting to hear more about. But those classes, once we get the description, we would like to include them in our course guide as well, just to make sure that we are preparing students for careers in some of the up-and-coming companies within the state of Virginia, to include Amazon and Eli Lilly, which is a new facility that's going to be up in Goochland, which is really a big reason for why they're starting to provide these courses, and other things such as Lego in Chesterfield and some other areas. So we're trying to do the best we can to provide all these opportunities for students through our coursework, with the people that we have and with the pathways that we can. Any questions?
Any questions, board members?
Madam Chair, I have just one question.
Okay.
Dr. Stewart, how would taking a course with Goochland work?
So I haven't been through this process with anyone yet, but my understanding is that we can actually literally sort of trade students, so they can go over there for the coursework that they would complete if they select a certain pathway, and then they can participate in the courses. So they literally would have to, because we're on different schedules right now, we can't just bus them over for a class. It would have to be, I'm ready to do the megatronics course pathway, that's what I want to do. So I would literally be taking my coursework at Goochland.
So they would be going there for a semester, taking all their courses there, or?
They would have to fill out the year for their classes, for whatever classes they're taking. And typically, it would be part of a program as opposed to just a class. And it would be dependent upon, if that's the pathway they want to choose.
It'd almost be like what we do with governor schools. They're going there for an extended period, let's just say an extended period of time, not 4 years.
Yes, and they are, we obviously, we need to get them there, but we don't have to pay like additional tuition or anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of like a trade.
Okay. It's interesting. I like it.
It's a cool way to get some access to some different courses that we don't necessarily have the ability to provide right now. So that's pretty cool.
Any other questions?
Okay, thank you.
All right, next up, Tom Sulzer, Director of Facilities, with a 2027 capital improvement plan and the 10-year CIP.
Good evening, Board. We'll go ahead and start with the 10-year plan. And this is something that I work collaboratively with Ms. Holloway in the Finance Department, as well as a couple meetings with Mark Piper's office with the Department of Public Works, trying to work together to get us forward. I do know that we have limited resources. Let's just start by saying what it is. It's a limited budget, but there are needs across the building that have been identified that are currently being identified as part of what's happening in the buildings every day, but then also as part of the process of the Dewberry study that was committed in 2023. And so some of these items you may have seen previously, and it's just continuing to share the need with you as a board, with the public, and of course with the Board of Supervisors to indicate that the buildings are getting older, and with that, systems become older, harder to maintain. Our maintenance team is fantastic in terms of keeping things going at a very reasonable cost, but there's only but so much that they can do with some of our systems as they get antiquated and parts become obsolete. So looking here at the 10-year plan, I'll just call to your attention that the items shaded in blue throughout this presentation are going to have some sort of impact on the instructional program, not necessarily the facilities, but more of the interactions or the immediate interactions with the kids. Over the next 10 years, you can see that that's about $105 million. We do have in here, you'll see almost 40 of that, 38 of that is coming from a possible new elementary school. With population, we'll continue to maintain that, but it's always better to purchase land before you really need it. At the high school, you'll see, again, in this larger plan, the most immediate needs that we are indicating is the greenhouse, the kilns, which I'm working collaboratively with the high school art department to sort of come up with a solution because those are immediate needs. And then as you go through, you'll also see the CTE addition. With our CTE program growing robust and the high school design the way it has been designed, adding a CTE separate area it was planned for in advance for that as a possibility. And I know Dr. Stewart's teams, with all of our instructional staff, would love to have more opportunities for our students in terms of what courses we can offer them. You'll see just as the buildings get older, things need to be updated as we go through this. Roof replacement was something that Mr. Benway worked with in the spring time frame in terms of looking at that. Originally, there was concerns that that was going to be a little bit of a newer or a more impending purchase, but it looks like he was able to secure some people who shared that it has about another 3 to 5 years left in it. So I went ahead and put it right smack in the middle of 4, and that's where we have that roof coming up. Again, you'll see here purchases for possible land for a new elementary school coming up. Again, with student population sort of hovering at the same time, at the same amount. It's not quite an immediate need, but we always need to plan for it ahead of time before it becomes a need. When you get to this slide for the Pocahontas Landmark Center, I want to call to your attention that the items in yellow here impact both our departments in terms of our central office staff as well as the Parks and Rec department for the county. So you'll see here you have the boiler and hot water replacements. The fire pump replacements actually serve our building, the Parks and Rec building, and of course Pocahontas Elementary School. And then you'll see the electrical panels were, I think, upgraded last time in around 1992. So they're just becoming, it's getting to the point of they are going to need some attention. You see that I've maintained in this document the A, B, the B, C, and D wing demolition. The money has been approved, but I just thought it was important to share that since it's not taking place. And in the meantime, I put in a placeholder for mold remediation at the PLC, which would be a total building cost, just until we get some sort of forward movement. I will also share that probably one of the more impending projects here is the PLC HVAC replacement for A wing, which will also impact Parks and Rec. So we're going to need some new equipment, and Parks and Rec is anticipating putting in some money this year into their CIP in order to move forward HVAC upgrade for this up A wing location. The middle school, as you look through it, there's not a lot with it being a building from 2018. You've seen some of these items before. I'll talk about them when we get into the next slideshow. Same thing with Flat Rock Elementary. We're not quite at 20 years. We're still underneath that 20-year mark, so we have some time before some of the systems become a little bit aged. So there's really nothing coming up, but you can see that as you're planning things out, some of these same themes come back up of fire panels, security system upgrades, water heaters. Some of these things begin to sort of come through. When you get to Pocahontas Elementary School, you do have some of this is impacting instruction with the classroom furniture and the casework around the sink areas. Furniture is just aged. It does not handle, it has not been holding up. And so we could use some new pieces, some new desks and student chairs. Again, when you look at it from the long picture, you're just seeing some of the items that are coming up as part of the aging of the buildings. When you get to Powhatan Elementary School, again, this is similar to Pocahontas, where the classroom furniture is even older. It's got about another 10 years on it, and the casework has about another 10 years on it as well. The casework at Powhatan around the sinks and in the classrooms needs some upgrades. One of their larger pieces is also the makeup air handling units over there that provide the fresh air to the buildings. And then you can see, again, consistent LED lighting upgrades, electrical gear panels, some bathroom upgrades over time. Transportation facility, this in working with Ms. Mingus, the interim director, as well as Mr. Bartlett, the fleet manager. We've come up with some purchases for buses. I think I'll have it in the next presentation about what the bus cost is per bus. But we have about 5 buses being purchased, I think, for about the next few years. Maybe 5 each year with some inflation built in. Some division-wide requirements. And these were some of the things that my predecessor put in place, was putting things on sort of a maintenance cycle so that we were planning for things out in advance. For example, auditorium curtains. It's not a purchase that you need to do every 5 years, but every 20 years you need to start thinking about the curtains in the auditorium. The blinds in the buildings. This is a safety thing. But a lot of the blinds do need to be changed out. They just deteriorate over time because they're just constantly getting that sun. It is often marked on some of our safety walkthroughs that we go through, is that the blinds don't close all the way down when you're having intruder drills and those sort of things. And our staff is really good at making them work. And if they're in terrible shape, we may replace one individually, but to do a whole system replacement would be a great idea to put this out there. Interior painting of schools, again. Front office carpeting is just to keep things fresh for some of our buildings. The ADA upgrades, part of my accessibility report that I recently completed and submitted to the state, indicated that there's minor things that we need to do. All of our buildings were in compliance, but there are some curbing that needs to be done in some of the buildings in order to make that accessible as you're walking, especially outside near the playgrounds. The last piece I want to call your attention to, and I saw that on your legislative, in your previous slides, your legislative requirements was to make sure that buildings were being fully funded. There's a House Bill 2618 that was recently passed, and it's listed up there. And what it's requiring every school division is once every 4 years to complete an indoor air quality test, which is basically a pretty expansive systems request to have some engineers or some testers to come in and to look at the overall indoor air quality. And it must be done by a certified tester, adjuster, balancing technician, industrial hygienist, master technician with an HVAC license. So it's a pretty robust bill that they recently passed. I reached out to one of our environmental agencies that does indoor air quality testing. They had not seen this before, and so they did not go down the path of giving me any sort of idea as to what the cost of this is. I did reach out to a second company, one of our engineering firms, who also, had not seen this before, and they had not given me a quote at the time of presenting this. So I just used this amount of $40,000 and $60,000, thinking that maybe it'll be around $20,000 a building. I don't know. I was thinking if we do it, if it's a 4-year requirement, we do it in a cycle of maybe the east end and the west end. Maybe that's just a way to do this every 4 years. But we're gonna need to start planning for this budgetary wise as to what this looks like. So I'm hopeful to get more information as I talk to some of my colleagues and other directors around the locality here in order to get more understanding as to what this is really gonna look like for us. Excuse me. The last piece I'll call to the attention for everybody is the asphalt projects here. In this project, you'll see that the item in blue, I listed it here, but it's actually going to be put into the budget from the Public Works Department. As you know, this parking lot out here, we have to routinely maintain it. Our staff comes out and they put some gravel in there. Thank you, Dr. Prince. They come in and they have to fill those in. And so they're going to put that in their budget in order to have us repaved. And then I know that the high school bus loop is also one that gets a lot of questions about as to the status of it. And we continue to put this in there, and we continue to advocate for our buildings. Any questions?
Madam Chair.
Mrs. Hurt.
Okay, I got my questions here.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Let's see. Let's start off in general. So we're looking that we're going to ask the Board of Supervisors for basically 10.7 million minus the 0.9 million that was already borrowed for PLC.
0.9 and then 0.5.
And then the 0.5 for, but that 0.5 is not, they did not borrow the 0.5.
No, ma'am.
So it's still 10.7 million minus 0.9. So that's like 9.
Mm-hmm.
So you're looking at 9.8 million asking them for. Okay. I think it would be prudent for us to look at that 9.8 million and shave that down a lot, because I know the county's budget very well and their ability to borrow. That is not going to happen. Now, I do know what can we cover in our maintenance funds. I always never can remember that title, Dr. Tigan. Help me. The excess money we have left over at the end of the year goes to
The maintenance reserve. Capital maintenance reserve.
Right. So how much do we currently have in that right now?
This year we had $350,000 located in that. We spent 132 for the high school. We're anticipating an extra 135 for a project for Pocahontas Elementary School and for Flat Rock for the intercom system.
So when this school year is up, what's left, we have leftovers, we can spend that in November. Is that correct, of 26? Is that the waiting period?
I'll defer on that.
Is that, am I asking crazy stuff? I'm sorry.
No, it's not crazy stuff. The audit, when the audit is all said and done, the county will tell us what that CMR number is.
Okay.
But it will not be used in, we can't use it until 27.
That's what I'm saying. So
Yeah. So new school year.
that's what I'm saying. So the money we have left over from this school year, the money we have left over as of July 1st can't be used till November.
We are using.
Oh, no, you're telling me November 27.
We're using the 25. We're
So
going to
it's a
find out what was
year
left
wait-
in 25. We won't be able to use
It's a
that till
year waiting
27.
period.
Yes, ma'am.
It's a year waiting period.
So
That's
the money
what I
we're
thought.
using now, the 350 that he's talking about,
That was
was from
from 24.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
gotcha. Okay, so we don't have a lot that's going to be left over that we can use to go towards any of these needs.
Not very much. I don't even know what it is yet after the audit, after all the entries are done.
Right.
She will tell me, the county finance will tell me what
Right,
it is.
I know.
I don't foresee it being a whole lot.
It's not going to be a big chunk. Okay. Now, I thought the buses, because the way that they're leased, that didn't come out of CIP money.
It is
It
part
did-
of the CIP.
It is
even if
part of the
it's a lease.
CIP?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, on with my other questions.
Okay.
Sorry, but you know me.
That's all right.
All right, first off, I don't think it's wise to put down buying such expensive land because our student population every year has been going down. And if you look at the demographics for Powhatan County, it's becoming older and less kids. So, you know, I don't want asking for that much money, you know, to hurt. You know, sometimes if you ask for too much, then they say no to everything. It scares people. So maybe that's not a wise thing to be. That's just me personally including that in there because I don't really see that need in the foreseeable future. And let them, you know, that's just food for thought, okay? Regarding CTE additions, if we can coordinate the CTE addition on the high school, if we can coordinate with Goochland High School with the use of J. Sargent Reynolds' empty building. Now, of course, I know that requires us having the same high school schedule at Powhatan as Goochland High School has, but that building is totally empty from what I understand. And if we could coordinate our CTE programs there together, that potentially could be a savings, who knows? But I'm just saying, any kind of construction, as we know, is incredibly expensive. Okay, so what my takeaway from all this is I think we really need to sharpen our pencils. Obviously, we want everything to be fabulous. I don't want to zing other school systems, but I have family members in other school system buildings in this area, and I won't say which ones they are. I told Dr. Tigan, and I've attended functions at those the past several weeks, and we look like the Cadillac of schools. Some of our neighbors that are the more wealthy ones, I was shocked at the condition of the schools that I was in. And so I'm really proud in Powhatan what our schools look like and how well they've been maintained, because I think that's a real, I mean, I hate to say that that's not what education's all about, but I think people are much more enthusiastic to work in a really well-maintained building, and parents are happy that their kids are in a really well-maintained building. So I want to compliment Powhatan on that we do have very well-maintained buildings. But I am concerned going to the Board of Supervisors and basically asking them for almost $10 million. It ain't gonna happen, realistically. So I think we really have got to be creative and sharpen our pencils. That's my personal opinion. But thank you for the thorough analysis here. And if I win the lottery, I'll help out.
I'll take you up on that.
Okay.
Any other questions from board members?
Madam Chair, I just have two quick questions.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Sulzer, the air handlers you mentioned at Powhatan Elementary, are these different than the air handlers that we replaced a few years ago?
So we replace the internal components, not the air handling units that bring in the fresh air up top. So the HVAC system that was installed conditioned the air inside, but did not bring in, did not handle the fresh air that comes in. And one of the things I've heard from Powhatan Elementary School is there's a moisture almost to some of that, because I think some of those vapors are getting open.
Yeah.
So I'm hopeful that the air handlers from there would help to alleviate some of that.
Sure. I'm not questioning whether or not we need them. I just knew we'd replace air handlers, and so I just want to make sure that.
Yeah, different
This
components.
is a different
but yes.
component, okay.
Yes.
Second question is HB 2618 unfunded mandate?
Yes, to the
Figured it
best
was.
of my knowledge, HB 2618, and I can send that to you guys if you want. I didn't even think to print it out, but to the best of my knowledge, it has been, it is unfunded. It bubbled up just being new in this position. I did not go to the State Plant Managers Association, but in contacting one of my colleagues who went from on the other side of Richmond. When I was asking some questions about being in this role, he shared with me the concern that many of the plant managers had for the school systems, basically saying, here's another mandate that came through without any sort of funding initiative behind it. And from the looks of it, it looks pretty robust in terms of what we need to do to satisfy the requirements.
Well, those are always a blessing.
Madam Chair, on that regard,
Wait just a minute. Has everybody else got questions on this presentation? I want to give everybody a chance to speak.
I was just waiting, that House bill, I was going to.
Okay, well, hold on, you guys. I'm good. No questions. No question. No go.
That's a House bill, so that's not a VDOE thing. So that's legislature into law. So typically, things that are legislature into law, you don't usually get money for. It's VDOE policies that you get the money for. House bills, too bad, you got to do it. Oh, yeah, okay, you go right ahead.
Madam Chair? Yes. I would like to share that at this morning's Region 1 Superintendent meeting, there is an upcoming online session about this bill because there isn't much knowledge and understanding across the state. And so we hopefully will have more information. The other thing is, in speaking to members of the Board of Supervisors, not all of them, but, there's always this concern about what we ask for and what our needs are, and then why we don't have our needs on our want list. And it's really not a want list. We try to really stick to the fact that these are needs, and if they don't get funded, the reality is we're going to have to figure out how to take care of it when it breaks. And so one of the requests was to make sure that the Board of Supervisors saw what we have as the needs, so that moving forward, we all understand where we are as a county and our buildings and the county's buildings and the burden that it puts on the landowners. I mean, those of us who own property here. And so we feel that in doing due diligence, we have to say what we feel will need to happen, but we also understand what will happen. Thank you.
All right. So at this point, we'll move over to the more focused CIP for FY '27, which you'll see many of the same information in this one as you did in the last. And let me just say, shout out to Ms. McFarland. I combed through all of her photos to find, instead of using stock photos of our kids. So, Lord, keep taking pictures. All right, so just as a reminder, the 10-year, the CIP planning process, it's 10 years. It's looking for anything construction, major related, mechanical, plumbing, engineering systems, school bus replacements, and it's updated every year. And of course, this is draft 1. We will review another draft coming up here, I think, in December. So the current projects that we have going on, I just want to remind everybody that we have funding for the demolition of this project, which is currently under the demolition of the PLC, which is currently under review. And we have funding for a Pocahontas Elementary School HVAC upgrades, which is currently out for bid. The bidding will close on November 24th. And so those have been board-approved initiatives for us. So we're grateful for the board for that support. The high school, here's a more specific look at it. I'm not going to read off all of these as we go through the slides, just call your attention to a couple. The first one is the select bathrooms for single stall users. Those were a Title IX requirement. We have not received the funding for that, so those have not been pushed through as a priority for that. But that is something that I still know every now and then bubbles up, and just one that I want to make sure that we are understanding that when money is available, we'll push for that. Water heater replacements is one of the priorities, I would say, for the high school. Because of the systems that we use, we have 3. 2 of them are currently in use. One of them is not working. If we end up going down to 1, we're going to need to figure out a way to fund that real quick. The other pieces that you'll see are just things that have come up over the years. If you've been outside in the cafeteria, on the patio out there, some of those tables and chairs are falling apart. So just to give you guys an idea as to what it's looking for specifically, we're looking at about $1.2 million for the high school. The middle school was wall and slab inspections and repairs. There's some foundational cracks in there. We've had them looked at. They are not critical in terms of impacting the building and the structure, but it is things that we do want to get repaired. The toilet accessories replacement, unfortunately, is as a result of student vandalism. Flat Rock.
Still?
It has calmed down. I will say it has calmed down. In fact, part of it is it's calmed down because there's no more dividers between some of those urinals in the boys' room because they're gone. But you can see where if you've been in the men's room I'm looking at Mr. Taylor, Dr. Taylor here.
Yeah, I know nothing about that.
So, some of it, there's items that are missing because we've removed them because they have fallen down over time. I don't really want to say this too loud. We're not seeing the vandalism that we'd seen last year, luckily. I'm kind of like knock on wood, right? Like don't ask for it. But we're not seeing some of that vandalism of what we were seeing last year. But it's still an issue up at the middle school in terms of making them look a little more private. But they're functioning right now. Flat Rock, we do not have any requests for next year. Pocahontas Elementary School, you have a total of about $3 million. Part of that is coming from the casework, which is over a 3-year span, so that's $211,000 approximately for the next 3 years. The fire alarm system is just 20 plus years, it's actually 30 years old, as well as the intercom speakers, amps, and data cabling. It's recommended that they get replaced. And from being over there, especially during storms, and Ms. Smith, you can probably agree with me, emergency generator to get some of those systems up and running when we lose power would be outstanding. Powhatan Elementary School, again, the casework is $207,000 over the next times 3 for each of the next 3 years. You do have makeup air handling unit replacements, which is a priority over there. The playground equipment is antiquated. It's some of it is the wood stuff is starting to fall apart. We've removed some of the pieces of equipment. Some of the plastic equipment we have to go back and repaint because it's starting to rust through in certain areas. And then, of course, the fire alarm system is about 40 years old and antiquated as well. Transportation, here you go. You have your 5 buses at approximately $160,000 per bus. The Landmark Center, you still have the need of the demolition, so I have that money included in here, Ms. Hurt. So it's not an exact amount, but it's just to show the point that it's still needed. The boiler and the hot water replacements also support Parks and Rec. That is a joint system. The fire pump replacements also support Parks and Rec, as well as Pocahontas Elementary School. The electrical panels and gear replacements also support Parks and Rec. And then the HVAC project I listed as $917,000, and I'll break that down for you. The entire system does support Parks and Rec. So the chiller and the pump replacement supports the Park and Rec. The A-wing air handler replacements is only for this part of the building. The fan coil replacements is only for this part of the building. And the makeup air handlers is only for this part of the building. Parks and Rec, according to Mr. Piper's office, is adding in $685,000 into their public works CIP budget to handle their makeup air handler units that are on top of the gym. Here, again, those division-wide requirements. And then, of course, the asphalt requirements, which I've listed out more specifically, working collaboratively with with Public Works for the 210,000. So while it's a total of 538, we're really only requesting 328 because that 210,000 is coming from Public Works. Any questions?
Madam Chair.
Questions? Ms. Hurd?
Can we go back to PLC on the 917.5 thousand? So I'm a little bit confused. So what part of that is for us?
Hold on one second, sorry.
The Landmark Center. There you go. The very bottom one.
Okay, so great question. That 917 is all us.
That's our part.
That is our part.
Okay,
But within
that's all
that 917, some of that will support Parks and Rec.
Right,
Parks
and
and
then-
Rec is adding an extra 685.
So the whole project's 917 plus the 685.
Correct.
That's what I want to understand. So 917.5 is ours
917.5 is ours.
Right.
685 would be a total of
to
about 1.5
Parks and
million.
Recreation. Okay. All right, so this, all right. So this list here, this is where we need to go through this and look for the most critical, live or die things like water heater, toilet repairs, fire alarms, generator, air handling units, HVAC. I mean, if we got to pare it down, we need to be prepared on what is, nobody's going to be functioning in a building that the HVAC isn't working. And if there's a problem with the fire alarm, we can't have kids in buildings or employees that defective fire alarms. That, to me, that's just totally unacceptable. So,
I'll just add, all of our fire systems are currently working. What happens is that the panels in the back are antiquated, so it's hard to get parts because they're 20 years old.
Right, well-
And so when you call a technician, they're like, well, we can't work on this anymore
Exactly.
because the system's 20 years old. You need to move to a more robust system.
Exactly. I mean, that's a safety issue. So if they break and we can't get the parts and you don't have a fire alarm system in a building, that's a little scary.
We had that same issue here in this part, right?
Yes, and I think Mr. Benway ended up getting a new panel for the system 2 years ago, Dr. Tigan, maybe 3 years ago.
But
It was one of
wasn't-
those first tasks, I think.
But wasn't it kind of jury-rigged to,
Originally, when,
yeah.
But not since he worked on it.
not since we
So
have-
now that is updated for this building?
Correct.
Okay. And that serves Parks and Recreation as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that is a joint system. They have certain, like, heater detectors over there, smoke
Right.
detectors, that sort of stuff.
Okay, well, I'm just trying to get a handle on with the absolute critical that we cannot even breathe without.
You need to get out your tarot cards or your Ouija board to see what comes up.
That's what I'm just trying to understand.
It's hard to pick
Yeah,
what's going to fail first.
Yep.
exactly. Thank you.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
Just as to a little of the comment, in my world, we call it the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So we start with what we really need to educate and to be able to provide that education and that environment. And then the wants may have to go to the bottom of that list, because we all know taxes have already gone up and they'll have to go up more if we continue to go this way, so.
I would like for somebody to point out, though, some frivolous thing that we've ever put in our budget, because I just don't believe it's there. But that's my comment. Dr. Taylor?
Yeah, Madam Chair, I would push back a little bit on, let me just set the scenario. So a couple years ago, when we had the facility studies that came back, it said that we needed $70+ million in repairs. Of course, it graded them on most important from 1 down to 4. Being least important and could be put off. But part of the criticism that came back from board of supervisors as well as community members is, what has the board or the school board been doing? Why haven't you been doing something about these needs? And my argument has always been, well, they probably didn't ask because they knew the answer was no. And so what I would advocate is we put everything out there, as Dr. Tigan has already said, what our need is. That way, the Board of Supervisors can give us their number of, this is what we have to give. So us asking is not wrong. It's not really asking, it's just saying, here's the need. Can you fund this? I think we should put that forward as we've seen tonight. And then it's on them and us to work together, figure out what we can do this next year. I agree with you. They may not fund 10.6 million for FY '27, but I think we should ask for 10.6 million if that's what our need truly is. Otherwise, we're just repeating history, and we know where that history gets us, and it gets us in a bad place where we have facility studies that come back and says, now you need $150 million of repairs or demo or whatever may be included there. And we're just kicking the can down the road, and I'm tired of kicking that can down the road. That's my
Thank you.
comments.
Any other comments? Ms. Wade, do you have anything?
No, I agree with Dr. Taylor. That's what I was going to say, because we've already gotten, why didn't you come to us with this? Why didn't they come to us with this? So if we come to them with it, then we're not, again, kicking the can down the road.
Since they're our partners, they're supposed to be working with us.
Right.
We'll move forward then. Thank you, Mr. Sulzer,
Thank you, Board.
for this. And next up, our division calendar. This is what I tried to vote on a while ago, but this is just a first draft. So take it away, Ms. Jarman.
Very excited for you, Mrs. Smith. First, I've got to give a shout out to our calendar committee. They're awesome. They really are just a great group of people. They take time away from their contract, away from their family to sit and meet with me over this. It's a combination of all three elementary schools, middle school, high school. There's teachers, counselors, administrators, parents. Then we had division level staff sit on it. We had our special education department, our school department, our instruction department, our HR department. It was just a really lovely group to work with. So I want to say thank you to them. We had a similar process that we did last year. We met 3 times. Our first meeting, we looked at our current school calendar for the 25-26 school year, as well as Chesterfield, Henrico, City of Richmond, just surrounding areas. And we categorized things into likes, dislikes, and what we wanted moving forward. With our second meeting, we looked at a couple of draft calendars and came in with some survey results from schools. So with our first meeting, when we said we're not really sure where Empower needs to be, go back and ask your staff. So there were individual school surveys that went out, and that information came back for us to ultimately create 2 different drafts that you have in front of you. You also, this year, we decided to create, it's called Powhatan County Public Schools 26-27 Draft Calendar Comparison. So in the past, yes, that document, we've just given the community staff, teachers, just the calendars, and they kind of had to compare them themselves. So I thought this document would be helpful in just going through and seeing the differences. The main difference is we're still going to start 2 weeks before Labor Day. We have the same amount of instructional days proposed next school year as we have this year, same amount of staff contractual days. Some of the key differences, when Empower is going to fall, that is our professional development conference that we put on. Some want it New Teacher Week, some want it during Teacher Work Week, depending on where that falls, depends on where another holiday falls. So for example, if we have it during New Teacher Week, there can be an additional holiday in February. If we have it during Teacher Work Week, there will be one less holiday in February. Another thing that is different between the 2 calendars is Christmas break. The 21st of December is an option for one, which would be a teacher work day, which would result in a 9-day teacher break, and it would be a 10-day break for students. And now another calendar has a 10-day break for teachers with a teacher work day on January 4th. What we've decided to do with the survey that will go out to the community and to our staff this year is have them vote on these things that as a calendar committee we really couldn't come up with an exact answer for, because, for example, elementary school, One's Empower during New Teacher Week because they want the entire time to set up their classrooms. Well, secondary teachers necessarily don't need that time as much as elementary, so they're okay having Empower during Teacher Work Week. So we wanted them to vote on things and just kind of see where everything lies and have the option of creating a third calendar based on these survey results and what the community and staff and parents want. Does anyone have any questions?
Madam Chair,
Mrs. Hart?
just looking at this very quickly, I have to be really honest, as a former teacher, particularly in upper school grades, I like option 2 because it always bothered me how quarter 1 and quarter 2, the days were so wonky, and that made it kind of difficult, particularly starting out the first quarter and getting everything rolling. So I just want to make a comment that, I like how that is balanced out because quarter 2 only having 34 days, it's on the sheet. I just think as much as you can balance out the days in the quarter, the better it is for the students.
So that actually was one of the discussion points, and that is on the survey. There were 2 trains of thoughts on that. One train of thought was I'd like the 42 days for that first 9 weeks because a lot of that is getting to know our students and doing activities with them, and that can take some longer time. And then the other train of thought is I like more of an equal balance of days when I think about instructing my curriculum. So that is one of the options on.
Well, I can
on the
understand for
survey.
elementary school where you're coming from, but from someone that taught AP courses, I want to dive in, It's the first day, hi, nice to meet you. Okay, let's go. But anyway, I like option 2 because I like to balance the quarters out as much as you can. But I love this analysis because this makes it a lot easier. I didn't have to do this. Thank you.
You're welcome. And that was I sent that to the committee. They gave me feedback, so thank them as well for that.
Any other questions, board members? No? Okay. And moving right along.
Thank you.
Public comment period. We have no one? All right. Then, Dr. Tigan.
Well, it has been a busy month, and I'll give you just a few highlights. One of our Powhatan Middle School students, Jackson Fife, has started a business with his brother Alex and their dad, and they're using a 3D printer to make fidget widgets. And I wish I had some to show you tonight, but what they gave me was to go to each one of our schools. So they gave five boxes with each one having 25 of the fidget widgets that they had created and made. And we're distributing them to the counseling department so they can spread them out as needed. And so we appreciate that gift to our community, and that was on our gift list, but I really wanted people to know what our students were doing and how that might impact our schools. And so the other thing is I'd like to give a shout out to Toby Fritz, who's the executive director of the Goochland Powhatan Community Services Board. He partnered with us in October for our Professional Development Day. He actually got the grant that allowed us to bring Dr. Horatio Sanchez to our countywide staff development, and also was gracious enough when I said, well, we have more seats than his staff and our staff. Could I extend an invitation to some of the other small communities around that wouldn't be able to afford this opportunity, just like we wouldn't? And he said, absolutely. So it allowed Goochland, Amelia, Cumberland, Buckingham, and Prince Edward counties to send about 10 staff each to come. And I love that type of collaboration. It makes us all better. And I also took a little road trip to Roanoke Valley Governor's School, where we had our Virginia Advisory Committee for Advanced Learning, which is a a state committee that I am on, and it's really related to the gifted services for our families and our students. And I also attended the regional meeting at Maggie Walker and the board meeting at Code RVA, and also know from previous meetings with Appomattox Regional Governor School, those are all areas where we're looking at tuition prices increasing for next year. And so really going to have to make some decisions on what the board's desire is there for those allocation of seats. And I also attended an event at JMU where I was asked to speak to the chemistry majors and took it as an opportunity to do some recruiting, but also met with Ashley Baber, who some here may know as Powhatan student. And she was very complimentary of her chemistry teacher, her AP chemistry here, Dr. Thomas, who is still with us at the high school. So that was really exciting too. And I was able to share that at our Empower conference this year, how many teachers, when we had the state teacher of the year here, and she did an activity and asked people to speak about a teacher, that it really bubbled into something that was almost like a Dr. Thomas Fest of how many people she's impacted, and not just their children, but some to become colleagues. And so we've also done some collaboration with the county as far as on some of the road projects that are planned, the transportation. Both Ms. Mingus and Mr. Bartlett have been part of those meetings, and Mr. Bartlett was asked to go over to the county to help with some of their other plannings because of his background from VDOT and being able to provide some great insight. And again, there's just so many things where collaboration is so important. And then in addition, Ms. Jarman, Dr. Stewart, Dr. Blunt, and I did a listening tour through all 5 of our schools, and should be able to send out information to staff later this week that kind of pulls what the themes were. But it was definitely a different, more positive tone in some ways compared to previously, as far as related to staff here at the PLC. So with that, I will end so that you all can give your updates, and maybe we can all be home before 9 tonight.
All right. So next will be board member comments. And if you have next steps for our December meeting, you have thought that far in advance. If not, you can always call back and let us know if you don't have it on the tip of your tongue tonight. We're going to start down here with Ms. Ward.
I'd like to thank everyone that participated in our meeting tonight, and wanted to say thank you for all of those awards that we gave out tonight. That was really exciting. We love it when our teachers just go above and beyond, and we're just really, really grateful. I think we have an amazing grouping of educators. I ran across something that I'd like to bring up. I know I have a Jewish family, and I know we're past the Jewish high holidays for this particular year, but I wanted to bring to the attention to the public and also to our superintendent that the SBMA offers which is the School Board Member Alliance, that I feel that we've really aligned with here with our community, that they are offering a free Holocaust education with free series of videos. And I think that would be really easy for our history teachers to be able to bring that into the classroom. And of course, it would be something great. Let's say you had a day that the teachers didn't have anything really planned or something, who knows if they ever have a day that's nothing planned. But, maybe we could even share that for this particular year after the holidays, our holidays, but, certainly for next year. I know I did receive an email from a participant, a community, that we've discussed that as far as recognizing our Jewish faith children and family members here in the community, and would like to include that. So I thought that would be really great, that there's no cost to us. So we love those types of educations. And when you go to the website, I'll share that with you, Dr. Tigan, and I mean, if you want to make it to the public, that's great and fine too, but that's got a lot of great information. As far as the presentation with the bullying, thank you very, very, very much for that. That was, again, re-identified. Strongly, we're focusing on that, and we just have to continue this unity between the school division and parents. It starts at home, starts at home, starts at home. I've raised 6 children. 2 were not mine by birth, but they were our family. And so I've lived in blended families. I know sometimes those things can be difficult. You don't want to upset the children that might be visiting or whatever, but we really need to focus on teaching that at home, and then we at schools and our division, we can reinforce that. So thank you for that great presentation on bullying and the explanation, because some people, we hear bully, 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 but sometimes a kid might just be inappropriately not nice once, or inappropriately not nice twice. So that's something to look differently than the consistent. So I really liked how you had the 3-tier system and how it needs to do that. So thank you very much on that. And I guess in regards to this being November and Thanksgiving coming upon us, for us to give thanks for what we do have. We have a wonderful community. Yes, we can have some disagreeing moments and some strife, but all in all, when it comes to the majority of the moral compass that we have, we're all aligned. And, I've taught my children that even if you have a different religion or so, that moral compass, usually we're all aligned and we're all going in the same direction. So I really appreciate that with our community, and just wanted to point that out to bring some positive and some building back into our community with our families, our school divisions, and our different departments in our community. So thank you.
Taylor.
Just one quick point. I went to Farm Day back last month and spent about an hour and a half there in the beautiful weather. I appreciated one of the students who said the weather's great, and it was a really nice day that day. In fact, had a little suntan out there, so it was just good to be able to walk around and see the kids having fun, learning. It was neat to see 2 of our board members there doing presentations and teaching on cotton and what were you teaching on?
Forms.
It was just on generally on
What
farm?
constitutes a farm? What makes up a farm?
You can tell I didn't spend a lot of time at your booth, but
I can tell.
I just browsed past.
You didn't stop to make a bracelet.
I did not make a bracelet.
My feelings are crushed.
I did not. But I did learn about cotton, and I learned about soil, and I saw some bees, and I saw some cows, and some other stuff.
Did you touch any of those animals?
I did not touch any.
I did.
No, I did not touch. I'm not afraid to touch.
That's good to
I
know.
like touching animals. That sounds weird. Let's go somewhere else.
Never mind. Move on.
Yeah. So anyway, it's a good day, and I'm thankful for our faculty that do stuff out of the classroom and engage kids to help them learn something different. So.
Sweet.
I just want to recognize, I went to Powhatan Elementary this morning for a wonderful Veterans Day service. It was very, the kids, the elementary school kids participated, they sang, they did speeches. Your daughter did a speech. It was, I got to see it live. It was very touching, and I appreciate that ceremony. And it taught the kids about veterans and things of that nature. So it was really great. Congrats again to our Helping Hands winners. Sometimes as teacher, employee, staff, it's really nice to hear the good things every now and then. So I'm glad that our parents are doing that and participating in the Helping Hands Award. The MeWe project, it was amazing. You saw in the pictures, you saw Mrs. Smith, she's like teaching, and I'm like, what? I don't understand that. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Like some of the things that I I guess I didn't realize about, and the high school students, watching the high school students engage with the elementary students they were doing an amazing job. So, and again, Farm Day, beautiful day. I love Farm Day. I don't think I'm not going to say it because that would be jinx us, but Farm Day's always beautiful. And that's all.
Mrs. Hurd?
Did you say Ms. Hurt?
I did.
I'm sorry. Okay, so the school board job is accountability, representing the citizens and students, being an independent oversight body. And we really need to look at academic achievement with clear, measurable goals. So I'm very thankful that we're very focused on reevaluating our strategic plan, because any organization, if you're a good manager and a steward with fiscal responsibility, as I always say I am, and focused on academics and just common sense, you've got to have a strategic plan to guide your organization and develop your policies. So I hope that the citizens, whoever has signed up to be on the strategic reevaluation committee, I like to say, hopefully you're ready to roll your sleeves up. And I believe the date is, I don't have it in front of me, December 8th.
Yes, I believe it's the 8th, and the application process ended on Monday, and be evaluating those.
Do we have a good number of applications?
We do, but I haven't even been able to look at them yet to know, like, from what magisterial districts and.
Right, try to balance it
Exactly.
across the county.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, like I said, that is really important, because as school board elected members, like I said, our job is accountability in a lot of areas, in my opinion. Another thing, the world has changed, elections happen, there are concerns, and we have got to teach our children civility. We got to teach our students, and some of the parents need to learn some civility too. Civil discourse is essential in our community, in our democracy. We're going to disagree, but we've got to teach our students how to listen, debate, and disagree respectfully. That is so critical, and there's a lot about it. I won't go into the political stuff and everything, but if somehow in our classes we need to focus particularly on older students, how to handle that. I think that is very, very important to grow up and be a functioning person in our society today. So civility is lacking in a lot of places. To me, professional development, and no matter what job you're in, is critical, be it a doctor, nurse, lawyer, financial advisor, what have you. And I know that the chair and vice chair participated. I don't choose to participate in development through the SBA. I do SBMA, School Board Member Alliance, and I have a long list of all the training that I've done with them, and Mrs. Ward and I are getting ready to attend their conference all day Friday and Saturday at our expense. The school is not paying for that. And so I'm looking forward to learning more, because there's always something you can learn. And I also shared the Holocaust curriculum, and I believe, Dr. Tigan, you told me you passed that on already.
Yes.
To the social study teachers, which I think that's really important. And I guess one concern I have, I've been doing a lot of research now on artificial intelligence, because I've had numerous people tell me, oh, the kids don't need to learn that because you got AI. And I'm like, it's kind of like when computers first came out, they used to say garbage in, garbage out, that mentality. And I think for people to really know how and use AI responsibly, you have to have a foundation. So we still need to teach that. So I know we kind of I think we need to really work on a policy for our students in AI. And because I'm not exactly sure, teaching them how to use it responsibly, to understand it, because as we know, a lot of times AI can give you garbage, but you've got to be informed enough to know I'm reading garbage here, so to say. So I do want to mention that, and as I said, I am very thankful for our community. I'm thankful for our schools, and I look around at other school systems, and I see that we are very blessed in Powhatan County with a well-trained professional staff, a very stable staff. We don't have the turnover that other places, other school systems have. And I think that's a reflection of our administration and our continued desire to, development and give people the tools they need. And sometimes those tools, it's not the money aspect of it. It's the relationships, the attitude, and the culture in organizations that will make or break an organization. And money can't always buy that. So happy Thanksgiving to everybody. And I didn't have my mic on. Darn.
All right. All right, first of all, let me start out with, yes, I think that Holocaust information came out several months ago because, and I'm not sure if, well, I think we all received it from the SBMA. But anyway, it was sent on to Dr. Tigan as well. To follow the direction of the school board after last month's meeting, I did reach out to the Board of Supervisors chair concerning the opportunity to resume conversations about the future of the PLC. He has declined that opportunity at this time. Now, I'd like to thank all of the Powhatan Education Foundation folks for their special grants that they presented to our teachers tonight. It's so good to see retired teachers and administrators come back to support what goes on in the education division in this county. Thank you to all the staff who presented during this meeting tonight. Appreciate your work in putting together your presentations to get your information out to the board and to the community. And I want to say a special thank you to Powhatan Elementary for the Veterans Day program that they presented at the school today. It was an amazing program, and the way that you made all of those veterans feel so appreciated and loved, it was just inspiring to see all those little flags waving across the floor there, or standing as they were waving them. It was just wonderful. And Farm Day and MeWe Day were inspiring events just to see kids enjoying learning and getting their hands dirty sometimes, brushing it off and moving on. And then Mrs. Wade and I will also be attending the VSBA convention in Williamsburg towards the end of this month. And I think that's all I have. Do you have anything else, Dr. Tigan?
No, ma'am.
All right, then.